When Alex first met Rachel, he admired the way she moved through the world, decisive, outspoken, and relentlessly ambitious. She ran panels on workplace equality, organized campus events, and corrected sloppy assumptions with a calm precision. On stage she was fire. Off stage she was all work and plans. Alex liked that about her. He liked that she demanded better of the world and of him. After graduation, Alex took a junior analyst role at a mid-sized tech firm. Rachel joined a nonprofit consulting shop on a management track. She chased conferences and leadership programs. He stayed late learning analytics and volunteering for cross-functional projects. For a while their differences felt complementary. She pushed, he steadied. But over time a subtle strain set in. Rachel's feminism was uncompromising. She refused help that looked like weakness and taught herself not to ask for small comforts. She prized independence as a first principle, and with that principle she built habits, declining favors, insisting on emotional self-reliance, and measuring affection by performances of autonomy. Alex supported her publicly and privately, but he also wanted ordinary reciprocities that make daily life gentle. A check-in text, a shared late dinner after a long day, a simple thoughtful message. Work accelerated. Rachel traveled for panels and trainings. Alex's quiet competence started to draw attention. He fixed messy datasets, rebuilt a failing dashboard that executives used, and suggested process changes that saved teams hours. When a regional manager role opened, more responsibility, better pay, the chance to lead, Alex applied and got it. It wasn't the kind of headline prize Rachel chased, but it mattered in its own way. The promotion meant longer evenings and new responsibilities. Lena arrived as a communications consultant attached to one of Alex's early projects. She was competent in practical ways. She anticipated client needs, drafted clear recaps, and sent messages that felt like tiny acts of consideration. Alex and Lena worked late nights on pitches, traded quick messages about fixes, and learned to rely on each other's rhythms. Those small professional courtesies, bringing in extra coffee, checking in after a long call, built a steady, practical rapport. Rachel noticed. At first she asked logistical questions. Why the late nights? And then the tone shifted. You always choose work over us, she told him during one strained dinner, voice softened by fatigue. Alex tried to explain the stakes of the new role, how building credibility mattered. She heard a reprioritizing, not a plan. The conversations that followed thrummed with unspoken grievances, her exhaustion from touring panels, his exhaustion from meetings and mentoring. Instead of bridging them, the small misunderstandings widened. The breakup was quiet. There was no shouting, only a gentle, necessary parting. A few frank sentences and a mutual understanding that their needs had diverged. Alex moved into the work with a kind of clarity. The project work became a place for rebuilding, mentoring junior analysts, reorganizing processes, and leading a team that began to hum under steady leadership. Recognition followed. A successful regional campaign, an internal award for efficiency gains, a raise that mattered. Promotions arrived not as spectacle but as the result of sustained effort. He didn't seek attention, he showed up. Rachel's life continued at high volume. She published op-eds, moderated panels, and networked with people who admired her certainty. The applause was real and immediate, but it didn't always touch the quieter parts of living. She watched friends pair off in small domestic ways. Someone bringing soup when a partner was sick, someone saving a seat at a crowded talk, and noticed those ordinary gestures carried weight. Her realization came slowly. One afternoon she scrolled through photos and paused on an image. Alex, a modest team dinner, laughing, Lena beside him. The scene struck her not with scandal but with regret. She had advocated for independence and respect. What she had undervalued was the grace of reciprocation, the daily smallness that makes a life together soft. She called her sister. I thought I could be enough, she said. But I miss the quiet attention, her sister answered. Being independent and being alone are not the same thing. Rachel started to change. She began seeing a therapist and a coach, not for optics but because she wanted to understand why she had equated asking for care with weakness. She practiced small things. Answering a partner's message with curiosity, admitting when she needed help, offering a goodbye text after a long day. The progress was awkward and incremental, but real. Months later Alex sent a brief message. Hope you're well. It was small, unpressured. Rachel felt an ache that was more instructive than dramatic. It told her that some values, consistency, presence, the willingness to do small things, matter as much as principle. She didn't write back immediately. Instead she took inventory of what she wanted in private life. Someone who listened, who made small gestures, who was present without performance. There was no cinematic reconciliation. Alex and Lena continued as trusted colleagues. The team produced strong work and respected the dynamic that had formed through mutual practical care. Rachel continued her advocacy, but she also let herself show up differently in private, messy, imperfect, willing to ask for what she needed. They carried those lessons into later relationships and projects. Less certain of easy answers but more practiced at the quiet work of showing up. In the small domestic choices and the unglamorous moments at the office, they learned to value attention as much as principle. Growth, for both of them, looked less like victory and more like a steady, often humble, remaking of priorities.